Hello, everyone, and welcome to another episode of Anime Lounge Podcast. I'm your host, Matt, alongside with my other host, Lantz. As always, we like to start off with an adult beverage of choice, and we're going to go easy today and just drink some whiskey.
Yeah, we don't have to be that alcoholic and drink a whiskey and a beer.
It's we got adult stuff going on later, so unfortunately, it's just whiskey today. But I am very excited about my whiskey. But Lance, let's hear what you're drinking today.
Right, so I'm just going to be doing a glass of Blade and Bow. Matt got this from his parents who went to go visit the Kentucky Bourbon Trail, and we're still very thankful for them dropping off a few bottles for us. That was really good.
Yeah, absolutely.
Matt, you got a special gift for yourself. What are you drinking?
So, kind of for myself. My wife got it for me a year ago, and she got me a barrel from arguably one of my favorite distilleries, and that's Journeyman's Distillery, and she got me their Featherbone whiskey, and it's a barrel just for me. So kind of like Lance's wedding whiskey that he had been drinking for a while. It's the same thing, but Featherbone whiskey that was distilled just for me.
Yeah, that's very cool.
Yeah, it's so good. I need to get just a regular bottle of Featherbone so I can compare and contrast between the two of them, but it's so delicious.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, there's something special about having your own barrel too. It's definitely got its own like little source of pride.
Mm-hmm.
You feel pretty badass just having a whole giant fucking barrel full of whiskey.
Yeah, you got to see it. It's not small. We'll put it that way.
Yeah, right. Yeah, it's definitely got its ounces in there.
But that's enough whiskey talk. We have an awesome episode for you today, and because it's that time of the year, we wanted to go with something Halloween related. Little spooky, little fun. I know, Lance, this is your favorite time of the year, at least for genres of shows.
Oh, for sure.
And so, Lance, you want to let us know what we're going to be covering today?
Today, we are going to be talking about Zom 100 Bucket List of the Dead. And I'm going to pull this synopsis right from Wikipedia. And they say, Akira Tendo, a 24-year-old office worker of an extremely exploitive marketing firm, discovers himself trapped in a routine and meaningless life. He lacks drive and motivation after 3 years of abusive treatment, and when a zombie apocalypse unexpectedly strikes Tokyo, everything is turned upside down. Instead of succumbing to the dread, Akira sees this as an opportunity to experience life to its fullest rather than settle for his humdrum, it's a weird word, depressing existence. He decides to create a bucket list of everything he wants to do before becoming a zombie in order to not only experience it firsthand, but also to show that he is still alive and well. The decision gives him a newfound sense and purpose. So yeah, I thought that was pretty good.
Interesting. Okay.
And now that we have our synopsis taken care of, let's jump into Lance's lessons. Today's Lance's lessons is going to be the Japanese word for shark, and that is same. Same is spelled S-A-M-E. And same is very relevant to today's episode because we got a motherfucking zombie shark that we're battling.
Yeah.
So, thought that was pretty entertaining. Hit or miss for probably a lot of you out there, but it was definitely clever on how they handled the shark. We'll definitely get into that kind of conversation in the future.
Yeah, absolutely.
So yeah, same. Try to use that in the next time you want to talk about Shark Week or something.
Same Week should happen all the time. Let's be honest.
Oh, nice. All right. Matt likes to read the manga for every episode. So is there any differences between the manga and the anime, Matt? NANI?
Yeah, let's get into this. I'll be honest, not a whole lot.
Okay.
For anybody who wants to read from where season 2 is going to be, have they talked about a season 2 at all?
Nothing that I'm aware of.
So if you want to know maybe some information about how this whole thing started, if they ever get to that, or just kind of go through the rest of his/their 100 goals, maybe start reading ahead. If you want to do that, I suggest on chapter 23 or volume 7.
Okay. So it looks like they got plenty of content to spare because what we just figured out is they're on chapter 69 at the moment.
Yes, there are currently, as far as what I can see, 69 chapters out right now.
All right.
Yes.
So about a third of the way through the current stuff.
For anybody who watched this dubbed and didn't get the translation in the beginning when it was talking about Akira's bike notice, his bike pass notice. It was 2 months late.
Oh, that was 2 months.
Yep.
Interesting. I took it as maybe a week or two.
Yeah, I kind of thought, I was like, maybe he's like 30 days. And nope, 2 months.
Wow. Well, good thing it didn't matter.
Also, in the manga, Akira's boss, when he goes and visits his crush, yeah, he didn't transform. He's already in that grotesque zombie state.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Okay, that was definitely some liberties taken on having some kind of transformation, let alone we can say like that's the only transformation we saw of any zombies.
Yeah,
was
really.
so sudden, too.
Yeah, there were two that I want to question, but only one, as in this one, that the transformation was really weird.
Mm-hmm.
We can just put it that way.
Very video game-esque.
Yes. The incident where the semi runs into the convenience store and kills all of the zombies, and that's how Shizuka and Akira get away.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, it doesn't happen like that in the manga.
Was there a semi at all?
No.
Oh, okay. So they kind of went with the movie route.
Yep.
Interesting.
The manga, instead, she throws like a bunch of papers or magazines or something, so they all slip. And then in the confusion, she dips out and actually steals Akira's bike, which is why he needs a new mode of transportation.
Okay. Now I'm kind of questioning, because I know Akira definitely upgraded at that moment to a moped, to a motorcycle.
Yep.
There's something... No, wait. He ran to the convenience store.
No, he had his bike.
Because I remember she had him on video, and he's running around the corner, singing beer, but he probably parked at a distance at that point. Huh?
So he has his bike, and the bike gets ran over by the semi, and he's like, oh no, my bike. And then he sees the moped.
Okay, yep, that makes more... That's ringing some bells.
So then in the manga, she steals his bike, and he's like, no, my bike. And then he finds a motorcycle and takes the motorcycle. So he never goes to a scooter to a motorcycle. And
oh, okay. Interesting. But I like both ways. They both work out really well.
yeah, they're both convenient. I feel like the anime is much more anime logic-esque versus granted in the manga, it's apparently zombies are slipping on papers.
Loose leaves, yeah.
You find out that item 37 or wish list number 37 is to tell off my jerk of a boss.
He said it that late?
Yeah.
Interesting.
This is something just kind of, they make mention of it a few times for anybody that didn't pay that close attention. Shizuka is 26 and Beatrix is 21.
Okay. I guess that's a good thing to keep in mind too.
Yep.
So there's quite a large age range going on. We can probably imagine that Kensho is Akira's age of...
Yep, they're both 24.
Okay.
So, yep, Kensho, Akira are 24, Shizuka is 26, and Beatrix is 21. The lighting of all the zombies on fire, that big explosion with the gas and stuff, basically it happens all in succession. It's not nearly as dramatic, we'll just put it that way.
Makes
and
sense.
Kensho actually runs naked to get the attention of the zombies. He gets naked all the time in the manga.
Really?
Yeah.
Wait, so you said Kensho?
Kensho, yeah.
Okay. I guess that's not too dramatically different because, he's trying to be a comedian with the shtick that he gave himself.
Yep.
But, okay.
It's just not as dramatic. The old man actually gropes Shizuka. Like
the final couple episodes?
Yeah, he grabs onto her chest a few times, or just one time, but yeah.
I can see that.
When Kensho grabs the electric fence, he does get stuck, and Akira tries to save him by, drop kicking him and actually gets zapped with him.
Okay.
So that was much more funny.
That would have been very nice to see.
Yeah.
Because that's something that Akira definitely would do, too.
Absolutely.
Throw himself in there without thinking and then getting part of the problem.
Yep. He's like, I don't know why I'm getting zapped. I'm wearing rubber boots. It's like, yeah, but your boots are still...
It's not that thick. This isn't Yu Yu Hakusho where your tiny little souls can hold back a spiritual thunder blast. Yeah.
Well, the shoes were technically hiding his...
Spirit, yeah.
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 It just push the glasses up while I say that.
Yeah.
Kensho wrote number 39, which was to meet a girl on a dating app. And it's funny because that is like a side quest episode or chapter. It's one chapter. And basically he's never been on it essentially was Tinder.
Mm.
And he's like, I don't even know how this works. And then there's like random girls that he's trying to meet up with. He matches with one. He's talking to her, meets up, and like as she turns around, you see that she's a zombie. And he's like, no, my one chance. And then they have to run away.
Oh.
So he wrote it off because he met a girl on a dating app.
So
but
technically it worked, yeah. Was this pre or post going to Akira's parents' house?
It had to have been pre because Shizuka wasn't there, but like it was literally during the whole process of them being there. It was just a random chapter.
Okay. Oh, because I was like to say, they did make mention that when they were still on the roof and when they were running out of water, they were running out of cell service and stuff like that because nothing's keeping that stuff kind of going. So I would like to imagine it was more towards the beginning in that area.
Yep. Number 22 is attempt cosplay. So Akira completed this when he essentially got transformed into a zombie.
Makes sense. So that's when he scratched it out?
Yep.
Back when, just for everyone to come back and remember, in the end when the bad guy was trying to lure Akira out by saying, I'll let your dad survive if you come and take his place, basically. And they denied it. So Akira, in the little hut with all the women, let the zombies in. But prior to letting the zombies in, there was a makeup artist in there who dressed Akira up as a zombie to fool the bad guy, which is, just some anime logic stuff going on there. It was fun. It was decent.
Yeah. And by the way, that bad guy's name is Higurashi. And I only know that because I have it written down, and that's my next one.
Yeah. I might be having a little bit of a brain fart, but isn't that also the bad guy from My Hero?
Shigurashi.
Shigaraki.
Similar, but not quite.
Okay. Yeah, they sound, to a non-Japanese person, they sound very close.
Yes. So Higurashi, not to get confused with the bad guy from My Hero, doesn't actually kill himself in like the manner where he's basically like drowns himself and does that. He is having this contemplation moment and then gets mauled by a bunch of zombies.
Yeah, that's the first thing I thought of when he first broke away and went into the sea of zombies. But
yeah,
like you're just letting yourself be literal bait.
No, it wasn't. It was just kind of like he was so distraught by everything that he wasn't really paying attention. He still gets bit, but then before he transforms, all the zombies like maul on him and kill him that way, versus him like getting bit and then going into his reflective state and then walking to the river and then like jumping in the water. Yeah, that doesn't happen. He still has his reflection, or his I guess you want to call it a reflection, but the being by the river, that part doesn't happen.
Okay.
But that's all I got. That's it. That's everything.
All right, so nothing too crazy. We got a few extra moments.
Yeah, just the kind of first interaction with Shizuka.
Mm-hmm. That I know you sent me a screenshot earlier. There's some boobies.
Yep, definitely some boobies. It's much more, just not safe for work. We'll put it that way.
It's kind of funny.
The only part is the girlfriend or the crush from his work when she transforms, and the love hotel are the only two parts that you really see anything. There's nothing after those two moments.
Okay. Yeah, that's pretty much all that you would think.
Yeah, I don't know about any future events.
Yeah.
I mean, there could have been from because they went to the hot spring, but no, there was nothing there.
Oh, yeah, that could have definitely been a typical anime trope. Yep. I mean, we almost saw something that could have been with Beatrix, but that was covered appropriately. So nobody saw anything.
Correct. But yeah, that was the not very long, 22 chapters. But all in all, it was very similar to the anime. One thing I will say is that, the blood, because it's all in black and white, the blood wasn't multicolored like in the anime.
Yeah.
So I know that's something we're going to talk about when we get to that point. But yeah, it was, that's all.
Yeah, so I wonder if anybody who read this manga first and then saw the adaptation with the anime, whether they were pleasantly surprised or like childishly grossed out or something like, oh, this is inappropriate, that they're dumbing this down or anything like that. I would just like to wonder what people were thinking. Yeah,
I'd be very curious on the reasoning behind making it so colorful.
Mm-hmm. I can have my own hypothesis about it. And then I think it's what most people would probably imagine too, is that he's lived in such a, like what episode 1 was showing in the anime, with him living in such a dark, gray, dull life, where he basically was a zombie living the shit life that he was.
Yep.
And then finding the freedom outside of work and finding that life is a lot more colorful. So let's just make blood more colorful too.
That's fair. Okay. I would much rather that than being like, well, we just wanted to make it more
Visually appealing.
Yeah, we could go with visually appealing, or just kind of have more people be interested in it because it's like, oh, all the blood is different colors, so it's just kind of a talking point instead of trying to be about the show itself.
Mm-hmm. And this show kind of takes a nice twist on zombies. Like, these zombies are fantastic zombies. Like, as far as zombies go, this is what I like. This is what I want out of them.
Yes.
But this isn't the dark, scary zombies where blood and gore would be awesome for them. But they're giving them a twist with this colorfulness, making them funny zombies. Like, these zombies are kind of the butts of all these jokes, and like stuff happens to the zombies to add to a punchline or something like that. Like, I'm totally on board with that. Yep. Like in the beginning of the series when Akira was cleaning out his room and he was throwing garbage out his window and a bag hit a zombie in the head. I thought that was perfect.
Yep.
So I can see where this style of anime really has fun with all these colors. So I love my zombies. I love my dark and gore, but this is perfectly acceptable. I'm loving it.
So this is a good Halloween episode is what you're saying?
Oh, definitely. Yeah, it's got the zombies, but it's Japanese, so it's still fun.
Okay. Yeah, I'll agree with that. I guess let's kind of kick it off with what was your take on this? Is this like what is your ranking on Zom 100?
Sure. So right off the bat, I'm probably going to give this a solid 8 out of 10.
Okay.
I think the show did a great job with keeping everybody interested. It's fun. Might be biased because I love zombies, so this is just a lot of fun there for me as well. But at the same time, there's a nice goal, and they're trying to make it work. A few things that I can take away from are just some anime logic stuff, like how fast people turn into zombies, like the rate of change.
Okay.
Changes from person to person. There's no rhyme or reason to all of this.
Yep.
Which you kind of need in a solid zombie story, which is fine. You don't have to think too hard about it if this is just supposed to be a little bit more on the comedy side.
Yeah.
But I guess it's a little... Regardless, that's still going to make me think a little less of the show because of that.
Okay.
It's hard to justify why it's an 8. I mean, I can feel that it's not perfect.
Yep.
But I was very well entertained, and I'm just going to kind of just leave it at that. What are you thinking about this?
So I will say for the theme of maybe what you're thinking is for the theme of Halloween zombies gore, it gets an 8. Like if it wasn't for the zombies specifically, it'd probably be like 7.5 kind of thing, where it's like, it's a good show, but it's the zombies / the theme that really bumps it up and gives you that 8.
More or less. Okay. I was still nicely entertained throughout the entire thing.
Yeah, absolutely. I would probably give it 7.5. Recommend it to people who don't mind some gore. It's a good, easy show to watch. I will say that. Everything kind of flows together. Like you said, some anime logic stuff. Yeah, it's an easy watch. Characters are fun. Akira is a good character. Like Kensho's, all of them have their points, have their purposes, and I am invested in figuring out like what caused all of this to happen. Why? I would assume it's some sort of virus because Shizuka kind of basically was like, yeah, it's going to be a virus just because of A, B, and C. And you're like, yeah, she's smart. That makes sense.
Yeah. And anybody who's a zombie fan, I've never heard of another explanation to how this could be. It's always a virus.
Yeah.
So it's kind of a default kind of thing there.
Yeah, absolutely. So I'd be very curious on figuring out maybe if Akira is maybe he's the reason why there's a cure. Maybe it's Shizuka that figures out the cure because she is smart like a doctor. So who knows? It'll be I'm invested in the show. Definitely.
Yeah, and kind of piggybacking off of that idea, Kensho made a comment at some point, I don't remember where, it was probably middle end, but he said that Akira was going to be the reason that this all gets like figured out or fixed, or one of the either or.
Yep.
So that might have been a throwaway line, but at the same time, like, he is our main character, and most zombie stories have to come to an end somehow. So
yeah,
is it going to be a happy ending where we get a cure? Or is it going to be literally the purpose and title of the show, 100 Things to Do Before I Become a Zombie?
Yeah, maybe he's got to become a zombie for the cure. Who knows?
Yeah. I mean, I would not be disappointed if he crossed out his last 100th thing and then he dies.
Yeah.
Like, I think that would be a fitting ending for this show.
Yeah, I could say that'd be very fitting for sure. So I had given you, because the manga gave us a list of all of the items, did you have a favorite one that he was able to cross off? Like, did you have a favorite? Basically, did you have a favorite moment from all the ones he crossed off? And or just a favorite moment in general?
Favorite moment is definitely going to be amongst the childish side. That was in like episode 2 or 3.
Okay.
Where Akira was like, it was episode 2. I can get a girlfriend. And then Kensho was like, yeah, where? And they look out to the sea of zombies down below. And there's that farting zombie. And it just falls to the ground and farts like crazy. I thought I died laughing the first time I saw that.
Okay.
So that was definitely my favorite part.
Fair.
As for a cross out, maybe becoming the superhero.
Okay.
Was definitely my favorite because I love the whole idea of a shark suit.
Okay.
And just feeling like a Power Ranger going out there and being in the mix, punching up some zombies. I thought that was pretty cool.
All right.
So I'm totally on board with that.
That's fair.
What about you? Got any favorite moments and or cross-offs?
I will say my favorite moment was the first time seeing the shark zombie, like running.
Yeah.
I legitimately laughed way too hard for that scene. I was just like, oh my God, that's great. And it was funny. It made sense for the shark costume and all that stuff. I was like, oh, okay, yep, here we go. I also laugh way too easy at things, so that is perfectly acceptable. And yeah, that was definitely probably my favorite moment of the whole series, minus how it died. I thought that was really stupid, but that's here nor there. And then as far as ones that he crossed off, I will definitely say number 7, which was pig out at a nice sushi restaurant, would be like the most relatable one. Like
definitely.
If it was, you're going to die sometime in the near future. All right, let me shove my face with the world's best sushi. I can totally get behind that one.
100%. That sounds fantastic. And to have it made freshly like that too.
Oh yeah.
That'd be amazing.
So that was probably one of my favorite ones, and it was kind of just a compilation of everything. Beatrix finally got something that she'd been looking for. Everything up to that point was kind of really serious, so just kind of it helped lighten the mood with everything. And it's like, okay, yeah, no, it kind of showed what the show was going to turn into, where it's going to be a lot of suspense, and then you're going to come down with a nice, good, heartfelt moment, and then you're going to continue. And that, I feel like, is how the entire series is going to go.
Definitely. And I feel like if this was made in like the early 2000s, this could easily have been like the Monster of the Week kind of show where one episode is one cross out or something like that. And it's his entire story based around that.
Yeah, absolutely. So yeah, that was definitely probably one of my favorite ones. I will say I did like the hot spring episode because we finally got like a real side of Shizuka, and just kind of seeing, it's like, oh, yep, that's what's going to happen. I'm assuming Akira and Shizuka are going to confess to each other towards the end of the series or later in the series at some point, maybe season 2, whatever it is. And just kind of, that's what it's going to be, because you could feel that connection between the two of them. Yeah.
And especially, listeners, Matt took screenshots of the current list, and it does go up to 86. But in one of them, and I don't remember which number, I'm not going to read them all again, but it says, meet the girl of my dreams. And I kind of have a feeling that there's going to be a moment where Akira realizes how much he likes Shizuka, and then she's going to be that cross out.
That is 33, by the way.
Okay.
Yeah, I agree. I think that's who it's going to be. And they are attempting to do number 6, which is travel across the country. That's what was happening at the end of the series.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, they wanted to travel north.
Yep. So I feel like they're going to cross that off as traveling across the country. I'm really looking forward to it. I hope we get a season 2, because this was I feel like if they did it like every other year in the fall season, it'd be very fitting. I know this was this one of our first short flights? Like when you were doing it by yourself?
I don't think this was an official short flight. I wanted to do it.
Yep.
But at that time, it passed our limit. And good thing we didn't either, because as everyone knows, there was a huge pause on the ending.
Yep, I remember that. So yeah, that worked out well.
Yeah.
But I know you were very excited about this when it first came out. So.
Oh, yeah, definitely. And like I admitted earlier, it's because I'm 100% biased towards zombies. Anything zombie, I'm going to give it a try.
Yeah. And it was definitely worth it. I'm glad we did this. I'm glad we can do some more horror-themed stuff for our episodes, because 1, there's not enough of them, and 2, we just don't get to them as much as we should.
Right. So with the show in general, did you have a favorite character out of everybody?
Beatrix, because she's my inner personality.
Yeah, I can definitely see that.
Yeah, she's a good character. I liked her quite a bit. I feel like every weeb would do the same thing.
Yeah, I'm sure most of us watchers who are big anime lovers were like, yeah, I would totally be doing exactly what she's doing. Jumping out of a van in a full samurai suit.
Yep.
That sounds awesome.
Yeah, just swinging a giant katana around and whatever the spear and I don't know. I know it's got an actual name, but I'm drawing a blank on it.
The blade on a staff. Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, that was definitely awe-inspiring.
So yeah, that was probably the one where I was like, yeah, I could do that. That'd be me. Mm-hmm. So I think that's why she's my favorite. What about you?
I would say she'd be my second favorite.
Okay.
I kind of want to go kind of dull on this and go with Akira.
Okay, that's fair.
I liked his development throughout this show. Mm-hmm. I like that he has a goal, a list of stuff that he wants to do, and that was very cool.
Yep.
I really don't know what else to say. I enjoyed his energy.
Okay.
That's pretty much what it comes down to. Like, Kencho is great. I liked his energy too.
He got naked way too much.
Yeah. He was definitely interesting. But then I started to think, if I were to be one of these character types in a situation like this,
yep,
who would I be? And I know I would be the Shizuka route.
Okay.
I know I would want to be the smart one, do everything the smart way, try to just survive.
Yep.
And Akira is trying to live.
Yep. Yeah, if you're going to turn into a zombie anyways, might as well just enjoy however many days you got.
Right. And yeah, I would just try to survive as long as I can. And so yeah, Shizuka would be my route. What would you see yourself as?
Oh man, that's a good one. I have not thought about that. I'd probably be Shizuka, but that has more to do with just basic survival knowledge that I have. So it's probably more just kind of instilled into me to be like that than anything else.
Right.
I definitely couldn't be Akira or Kencho. I'd try to be Beatrix. Like, if I was in Japan, I would 100% try and be like that. But if it was just, all right, tomorrow is the zombie apocalypse. Well, I guess let's try and figure things out that make the most sense. So, yeah, I would probably go the same way as well.
Yeah, I would imagine step one is just trying to find a place to hunker down and call home.
Yep.
And defend it.
So one thing we didn't find out about these zombies is, do you think they can swim?
Yeah, because this ultimately brings up the sauna, or not the sauna, the spring route.
Yep.
Because those zombies, at least in the anime, pretty sure it was like that in the manga too.
Yep.
They were just underwater the entire time.
Yep. Not doing nothing.
Swimming wise, I want to go with no. I think it's anime logic that they were under there. That's just for the comedy value.
Yeah.
But no, I can't imagine that.
So I know if this were to actually happen, that'd probably be my first instinct, is to go somewhere with a large body of water between me so I can... Hopefully they can't swim,
right?
Unless they turn into a zombie shark, and then they can do both.
Ooh, that's one thing that I really liked about the show, is that it's not just humans. Like, we saw many animals turn into zombies, whether it was the hog, the shark, or I'm pretty sure there was another one in there. But
those are the two main ones, yeah.
Yeah, but still, like, I like that it's not just revolving around humans and typical zombies.
Yep. I think the thing that I liked about the zombie shark was, while it was ridiculous, at least it made sense. You're like, oh, what? I mean, I guess if they don't actually die and there's their whole bodies, sure, why not? Why can't the feet go through its stomach and start walking?
Yeah, it was realistic enough on face, you know.
Yes.
You can have some legs come out of it, and it took, 3 divers inside to balance this thing. Yeah. Of course, the thing's going to be way too heavy. I don't know. It was enough to pass.
We are also talking about zombies, so let's not go too deep.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's probably one of my favorite. I was like, okay, yep, I can get behind that. It makes sense. This is super funny.
Mm-hmm. There was a handful of Resident Evil things that came out of this that I like to make the connections to. One, in Resident Evil 1, there was the zombie shark Neptune in there.
Okay.
Unlike Resident Evil, that thing was in water the entire time when you were having to deal with it. And another one was in the movie. Well, we'll talk about the movie in a little bit, but on the topic of Resident Evil, there was a moment where Akira was like, oh, that was some real Mila Jovovich going on there. And for anybody who doesn't know, for anyone that can't connect the two, Mila Jovovich was the main character in the Resident Evil movies, the live action ones.
Yes.
So that was a nice connection that they did there.
Yeah, once you said it, I was like, oh, yes, that's where because I was like, that name sounds familiar. And then I just continued through. I didn't think about it too much. So
that was really nice. Oh, and another Resident Evil reference, which is supposedly a zombie trope, is zombies driving vehicles. In the anime where there was that zombie truck driver,
Yep.
There's one of those in Resident Evil 2 as well. But really the only thing that I would give any kind of defense to a zombie driver would be that the human turned into a zombie mid-drive.
Yep.
And then maybe it was in cruise control or something. But like a zombie pushing on the gas pedal, steering the wheel, having some kind of
Well, if it went
sense.
into like rigor mortis and its foot was down and it just stayed there, and then, I mean, as you're driving, it's going to kind of, like, you're just going to kind of wobble. You can see it maybe happening.
Just a little bit. But enough for it to happen in the moment, as long as it's not long term. You know, you're not going to have a zombie driver making turns and being conscious about it.
Yeah, like the airplane going down. That makes complete sense. You're not going to be able to fly an airplane.
Right.
Can you make a car go straight for a little while? Sure. Why? You can make it go straight enough where it goes down the road.
So, yeah, you can take that as far as you can throw it.
Yep. Again, we're talking about zombies. Let's not get too deep.
No, I don't want to give them too much conscious thought.
So, since you brought up the movie, let's at least talk about it. The live action movie on Netflix, it's just over 2 hours long?
Yeah, I think it was like 2 hours, 2 minutes, 2 hours, 8 minutes, somewhere around there.
Yeah, it covers pretty much the beginning all the way up through him meeting his boss and getting away. And I actually liked the live action. What did you think?
No, I thought they did a fantastic job with it.
Yeah, I thought they made changes to it that made it more quote unquote realistic within within like the scope of what's happening. So that was something that was nice. I thought this is probably one of the better anime live actions.
Oh, for sure. And there was just if you want to judge any kind of acting, a lot of that could have been whatever. Because this is supposed to be also along the lines of comedy, so this doesn't need to be super serious. This isn't a scary show, so you don't need to be perfect acting and whatever. But I did enjoy it all. They stayed true to a lot of the stuff. The combinations that they did, especially at the end with running into his boss and combining that with the aquarium, I thought that was a perfect idea. Perfect idea to condense everything into one solid area. And
it makes sense. You got basically everything. The main points of both incidents happen at the same place. It made a complete sense. The Don Julio convenience store, that's where he saves people. It's like you're getting all the main points. They might be slightly different. That's where you see the stewardess the stewardess from that he gets to check off that mark too.
The flight attendants for everyone else, for
normal people. Yes. And so it's like, okay, and the difference between the anime and the manga is that Shizuka was there instead of not being there, so then he can't have his moment with the one girl, which I'm perfectly fine with. I had no issues with that. Honestly, the only disappointing thing was there was no Beatrix in the live action.
Yeah, I was kind of surprised that they didn't. Makes sense why they didn't, because as we get after the shark scene is when we run into Beatrix, so chronologically it makes sense, and it's just a lot of content to put into a movie, so everything just made sense the way it was.
Yeah, I thought maybe they would do like a different closing credits, and it's like the closing credits are they're running into the truck on the side of the road, and then it was gonna like cut out and be like, oh, okay, that's a teaser for the second one. That's where we're gonna get introduced to her right away, and that's what I thought was gonna happen. Obviously, that's not what happened. Well, I can't say obviously because maybe not everybody has seen it. But unfortunately, that's not what we get. Yeah,
we got like really cheesy, unneeded post-credit scene where we see the boss just like walking away.
Yep.
It was a throwaway. It was nothing.
Yeah, I would have much rather just gotten nothing. But that, like I said, I really enjoyed this live action. And it kind of all made sense. Like even the biggest change besides not seeing Beatrix was like the series of events where they're kind of just like enjoying themselves, going parasailing and all that other stuff. I was like, okay, yep, nope, that's perfectly acceptable because these are things you would be doing if you were trying to essentially live your best life before getting eaten.
Yep, everything made sense.
If you like this series, I highly suggest to watch it. What about you?
Definitely. It's just to compare and contrast things and just really get a different view on how things could have been.
Yep.
It's definitely not going to make anybody angry that they saw this.
Yeah,
for the most part.
Is there any like highlights you want to talk about the movie, or is that kind of just glad you watched it?
Nothing too much.
Okay.
How about you?
No, nothing that we didn't talk about. I am glad you had mentioned something. I wouldn't even have thought about it. I knew that it was on Netflix, but I didn't like put two and two together.
Oh, yeah.
And then I was like, oh, yeah, that's right. It does have a movie. Let me go watch that.
Mm-hmm.
So thank you for the reminder.
I just had another memory of another one of my favorite parts about the anime was when they went to go see the Flight Girls in the store or whatever.
Yep.
And the whole reason of them going there was to get a big ass TV so that they could play video games on their roof.
Absolutely.
And then on their way out, when shit goes tits up, Kencho finds a big ass TV and then they bring it back anyway. Like,
yep.
That was so goofy, yet so perfect. He's like, oh, I found this. Let's go.
I have the big ass TV.
Right in the midst of all the chaos. They got what they wanted and then they left. So I was really happy to see that one.
Yeah, that was very fitting. They got what they needed and they could go. So I enjoyed that one as well. I guess the only thing we haven't really talked about was the ending of kind of the serious moment and then the not serious moment. So the ending where they finally go to the village where Akira is from and find out that his dad is really sick with hemorrhoids.
Yeah. I guess now that I remember, I was thinking about why I would knock this down and the logic for making all of us viewers think that his dad was super ass sick and he had cancer only to find out he had hemorrhoids.
Yep.
It didn't hit right. Like, I definitely laughed at the moment that we found out about it, but taking a moment to think about it, I was like, literally none of that makes sense.
Yeah, no, it doesn't make.
They did throw some bones onto some of the conditions he was in just for being old and shit.
Yeah.
But it wasn't that serious. Yeah,
they could have given him something else. Why did it have to be hemorrhoids?
Mm-hmm.
Like, I know why they did it. It's funny.
Yeah.
But yeah, all in all, like, I enjoyed the fact that Akira was finally able to go home. He had a heart-to-heart with his dad. He was kind of able to move past the desire to go home. So now we can really get into the heart of what's going to happen next.
Mm-hmm.
And the whole premise of the show was to not have any regrets. So if he had waited a super long time, then it's like, yeah, his parents probably would have died. Like, to be completely honest, that's probably what would have happened.
Oh, yeah.
So now he gets to see them, gets to have his moment with them, and gets to kind of move to the heart of the story at this point.
Yeah. And while we're here, let's just talk about what we liked, what we didn't like about this final arc.
Okay.
So we ran into the bad guy.
Yes. Higurashi. He had some goons with him. All of them got quote unquote mistreated in their lives. Really, they were just slacker assholes. Well, one was a slacker asshole. One was a perfectionist that could never see anybody else's way.
Mm-hmm.
And then you had Higurashi, who is just a jealous asshole.
Yeah, pretty much. That's what it comes down to. The fat guy who got fired because he put a cigarette out and lit the place on fire.
Yep. He's lucky that's all he got.
Yeah.
I told you to put ashtrays in there. Well, you're admitting to lighting the place on fire. Cool.
Yeah. He shouldn't have been smoking to begin with. But yeah, so they were interesting characters. They could have definitely, if they really wanted to, they could have broken down each of those characters into longer episodes. But at the same time, I'm kind of glad they didn't. These were kind of just throwaway guys to begin with.
Yeah, no, there wasn't anything deep about them, so I'm glad they didn't harp on their backstories too much. It was just they were all shitty people. We forgot about the last guy who basically neglected his wife, and so his wife was all pissed off at him.
The one Kencho fought against.
Yep, that had to dive into a shit pile. Yeah.
Yeah. They definitely did some foreshadowing with that, like an episode prior, just showing a random cesspool. Like, oh, okay. Makes total sense on why they would for, old school fertilizing.
Absolutely.
And then making the joke about diving into it and cleansing yourself or fighting diseases or whatever it was.
Yeah, you're gonna need to cleanse yourself, that's for sure. It's never gonna go away.
Yeah, so I accepted that.
Yep. Yeah, all the villain characters, they just kind of sucked.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm glad we didn't get too much of it. And then it was very appropriate that, every person had essentially their own villain to have to fight.
Mm-hmm.
So it just all made sense. I like the fact that Shizuka she essentially got saved because from what we know, she's not really a fighter. She's just kind of that smart person that does anything she can to survive.
Right. Yeah, and that became clear with her fixing all the old people to a degree.
Yep.
And then her getting saved by all of them who wanted to pay their respects back and ended up saving her.
Yeah, absolutely. So I really enjoyed it. I like the fact that they kind of made sense of having, like, getting introduced to all these characters as well. So I thought that was really good writing. And all in all, I thought the arc was fine. As I had said, I felt like this was needed towards the beginning of the series, because if not, I feel like Akira would have been an annoying character, been like, well, eventually I need to go home. Well, I need to go home. Like, he just would have kept bringing it up. I need to do something for my parents, yada, yada, yada. And now that chapter has been completed. All he has to do to pay back his parents, essentially, is to live out his dreams and potentially save the world.
The only thing I would like to see continue out of the rest of this series in general is the zombies being part of the comedy, taking the butt ends of jokes. So I don't know how much. I really hope that they can do a good job with this for however long they're going to continue this.
Yep.
Because like most zombie series out there, the zombies get really dull after a while.
Yep.
So you need to be creative on that end.
Yeah, I like the fact that they didn't make the zombies like the only bad guy. They basically just made it an obstacle in the way, and everything else are essentially the bad guys versus the zombies being the bad guys. So it's going to help that we're probably going to, I don't know, fight some super mega zombie like the mega zombie shark.
Yeah, right. They can definitely pull some anime logic and pull something strange like that in the future.
Yep.
Like maybe a zombie gorilla or something.
Zombie Godzilla, maybe? I don't know.
That would be interesting.
That would be the swimming zombie, yes. Yeah, I don't know. I'm really liking the fact that while this is a zombie movie or zombie show, zombies aren't the only important part of this series. And that's one thing that it's definitely makes it different, is it's realistic enough in the fact that Akira wants to live his best life before something bad happens, and not just be... Because I'll be honest, most zombie themes are like Shizuka, where it's like, okay, what's everything I need to do to survive? And then they just stumble into the cure or other various things.
Yeah, that's what I would imagine the typical zombie story to be. So this one's really nice, and they're trying to make this fun and colorful. So this is a nice twist. Before
we can conclude talking about Zom 100, any hopes for season 2?
I definitely want this to continue being fun.
Okay.
So I want to see some random ass hijinks. Akira, Kensho doing random stuff, getting in trouble.
Okay, fair.
But in a funny way, because that's kind of the theme of the show.
Okay.
Outside of that, eventually want to get some kind of answer on how all this shit even started. They got to have...
Absolutely.
That's kind of the part of the big question of every zombie show is, why did this happen to begin with?
Yes.
They did make mention kind of earlier in the season when Shizuka was trying to listen into radios about the rest of the world and how they're doing.
Yep.
And this definitely seems to be affecting the entire world.
Okay.
So I would like to see what other parts of the world are up to. I mean, we don't have to get into arcs or anything like that. I definitely don't want to be introduced to a brand new set of characters and what their struggles are going to be, but just like little snippets of how other places are doing would be interesting.
Okay, that's fair.
What about you? Do you have any expectations in the future?
I kind of agree. I will say, just looking at the list of items that haven't been completed yet, one of the ones I am looking forward to is they want to ride an ostrich, and then they also want to go on a Japanese sake drinking spree. That's 2 different ones, so I feel like that's going to be really funny. That'll be a good time. And then like another one is staying in a castle. I feel like you could almost do all 3 at once.
Oh yeah.
So some of them look fun, and some of them are kind of just not really super important or super. I can't say super important. Just kind of, I don't know how feasible they're gonna be.
Yeah, because there's a lot of random ones in here. Like one says build a home theater.
Yep.
Another one says try fasting, which is kind of funny because you're trying to like indulge yourself in like sushi, and then they're not like it's not the next one. This is one of the last ones, number 79. Try fasting. It's just, I mean, why not? Depending on how long you can try to. Maybe they're gonna go like a week without having any food, and like, well, I guess we fasted because we just can't find anything.
Yeah, or 2 days or something like that. Yeah. Yeah, maybe a week might be excessive. But then number 80 is get my teeth whitened. probably not something that needs to happen during the zombie apocalypse, but to each his own.
Yeah, maybe they'll find some lightning stripes, or they'll just make that one super quick.
Number 43, by the way, is supposed to be Japan, because remember, she says everything, Beatrix says everything with that N, so yeah, she's talking about restoring Japan to its natural beauty. Probably can't do that while zombies are all over the place, just throwing that out there.
Right, not unless they make a personal goal and try to eliminate every zombie within an area.
Maybe. Yeah, I suppose. So then number 24 is learn English. So Beatrix is probably going to be teaching them some English.
Well, she's German.
Yeah. Well, that she might speak English, though.
That's true.
But yeah, it's that's like you said. I hope we don't get... I feel like we're going to get introduced to some more characters. I don't know if the party is going to get bigger or not. I'm just kind of looking for more of the same, but progressing is really what I'm looking forward to. Maybe the cliffhanger for season 2 is they might have come up with an idea of what caused everything. Like they might be like, oh, this is... we found the cause to the zombies, and then it's like cut, and that's the season. And it's like, oh, what the hell?
Could be.
That would just be something that I'm looking forward to seeing, is just kind of getting that.
Yeah, that or getting really caught in the middle of something bad.
Yep.
Like, I don't want to say, maybe along the lines of just like getting involved in some big gang thing, kind of like how they were with his boss.
Yep.
And them being extra aggressive and just can't get out of it for whatever reason.
Yep. So that's really all we have as far as Zom 100 is concerned. As per our latest tradition, Lantz has been trying to stump me with some Pokemon knowledge, and I am doing terribly. That's the best way to put it. I am doing terribly. At least I can get one for every iteration, so I guess I'm happy there.
Right. So today we're going to jump back into more Gen 1 questions.
Okay.
And question 1 is going to be, in the video games, how many items can you hold in your backpack?
Is it 99?
Way too high.
I'll
let you know this is a lot more realistic than today's games.
It's separate items though, right? No, it was total.
Yeah, it's total. In red, blue, and yellow, everything is all in one category.
Was it 50?
Is it your final answer?
Yeah, we'll go with 50.
No, that's wrong too. The correct answer is 20. You can actually only hold 20 items in your bag. Crazy, huh?
What? No.
So intense. They did give it a nice upgrade when it came to gold, silver, and crystal, but in the OG, you can only hold 20.
Because I remember having more Pokeballs than that.
Like separate items.
Separate items. Okay,
nothing to do with quantities.
Okay, that's what was throwing me off, because I was thinking of total items. Okay.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, no. That kind of makes sense, because really you just have your different kinds of potions and revives and stuff like that. So yeah, okay. Yeah, I guess.
Yeah, it became a problem when you're holding on to too many TMs, too many stat boosters like calcium and iron, and then just random shit.
Yeah, it's throw it all in the storage box and call it a day.
You definitely visited your PC a lot more often back then than you do today.
Yeah, you do. There's like an unlimited supply. Now there is no limit to anything.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure there isn't one. All right, so that was question 1. Question number 2. This is just a general question. Who is the 100th Pokemon in the Pokedex?
Let's go with Ghastly.
Ghastly would be wrong.
Oh.
They're not too surprised. I'm sorry, I gave you like a 1 in 151. But the answer is Voltorb. Voltorb is number 100.
Okay.
All right, this one, question 3 is going to be a tad simpler.
Let's hope so.
What is the move HMO2?
So I know 1 is cut. Let's see. 2 is fly, isn't it?
2 is fly.
Oh, look at me remembering things.
Hey, you got one. What I always thought interesting in the original Pokemon game was you got the HMs out of order.
Yes.
So I thought that was always very strange, because like you got fly right away, and then I think like HM5 was like flash, and you got that before fly.
Yeah, you got flash. Flash was the first one because you needed it between it was for the cave for between 2 and 3.
No, I think
between 1 and 2 at the Cerulean cave or whatever. No,
that was lit up.
Yeah,
Cut was definitely the first one because you needed that to get into the Lieutenant Surge. But in order to get into the Ghost City, I'm running a blank on the name right now. where the
Is that Saffron City? No, that's yeah, I know what you're talking about. But yeah.
one of those. But yeah, the big dark cave.
Yep. Which
That's
I mean,
where that's the only time you need it.
absolutely. And then let's be completely honest, you didn't absolutely need it.
No, when I was a kid, the first couple times I played this game, I definitely went through that entire cave in the dark.
Yes.
Because if anyone can remember, and for those of you listening who did it just like we did, you can see the walls.
Yep.
And you can just ride the walls until you just guess and check your way through some stuff.
Yep. And eventually you can just, well, I'm not getting anything, escape rope, and try it again.
If you really need to, yeah.
Or you just faint and try again that way.
Could, yeah.
I remember having to do that a few times. Both options.
Yeah. That was definitely the most annoying part of that entire game was that cave if you didn't have a bitch Pokemon for Flash.
Zubats. What are you talking about? Zubats were the most annoying thing in that entire game.
Yeah, they're fucking everywhere in there.
Yeah, thank you. I'm glad I'm still 1 for 3. I could keep my 33% average going.
Yeah, I'm glad you got that last one at least.
I know it's been a minute since we've had anime talk, and because it's going to be launched in the somewhat near future, some huge news that just happened, which will have happened a little while ago, is the Jujutsu Kaisen manga just completed.
Oh, yes, that's right. You were telling me about this.
Oh, man, I am a little just kind of... Whenever you complete something good and you just kind of need to process your emotions, it's kind of how I feel about this.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah, it's just kind of, I'm upset that it's concluded. I have no issues with the conclusion. We'll put it that way. They 100% left room open for some sort of spinoff if they wanted to.
Okay.
The scenarios in which I thought had to happen did happen because you basically get put yourself in a corner and A or B can happen. That you pretty much know that from the beginning of the series. How you get to conclusion A or B it was interesting. I enjoyed it, and I want to say there's going to be 30 volumes in total.
Okay.
So let's see. It ended on chapter 270. 271 was the final chapter. So all in all, really enjoyed it. I'm happy to say I had no issues with the conclusion. We'll just put it that way.
Okay, that's good.
So,
if you're saying it that way, and then essentially the final battle was a lot of fun.
Yeah, it was a lot of fun. I know people are going to complain about it because it was long. It needed to be long. We'll just put it that way. For it to make sense, it had to be not necessarily the length that it was, but it needed to be long. It had to be long for it to make sense. And that will make a lot more sense when we get to probably so I'd probably say season 4, maybe 5. There might be 5 seasons total. And no, because the calling game arc. So I'm assuming that's going to be 2 seasons. So yeah, it'll probably conclude on season 4. And all in all, it was a good ride. It was a really good ride. I enjoyed it. I'm glad I read the manga. Glad I continued with it. It was a lot of fun. And I cannot wait for season 3, which has already been announced.
That's good.
So
it's been announced, so like it's in the making. We don't have a release date.
I believe so.
Quick Google search.
And through the power of the internet, it is announced. And it is speculated to be in 25, so next year.
Just the year?
Yeah.
Okay, so...
No, nothing else. No, nothing more. Just...
At this rate, we can probably hope for a fall season or something then.
Fall, maybe winter.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. I know they're definitely trying to push this. Mappa is, that is.
Mm-hmm.
So that is what I'm seeing. Other than that... Nothing beyond that. I am not going to talk about anything as far as what to expect for season 3 because obviously I know everything that happened. So let's not go down that path. But season 3 is officially announced, just no official release date.
Okay, fair enough.
Yeah, I'd say probably another year and a half-ish. So, and maybe winter of 25 or something like that. Well, sorry, winter of 26, which could be that December of 25 or something along those lines.
Right, going into the new year, next new year.
Yeah.
All right, so it's understandably going to be a while, and we don't want another hiccup like we did for the end of season 2, where I think they took like a week off or so. quality did take a slight dip, but Mappa was running into problems just in general with the workload and everything like that.
Yeah, I remember that. So let's not run into that.
Mm-hmm.
And let's just have some awesome Jujutsu Kaisen anime. Yeah, it was good. I enjoyed it. Are you reading any other mangas?
No, still continuing with Kaiju.
Okay.
I didn't read a whole lot more. I think on chapter 80,
Mm-hmm.
and I think at this moment there's 112 chapters out right now. So I'm in what would be considered season 3 material.
Okay.
And
potentially season 3 anyway.
yeah, what do I imagine? Yeah. And where I am right now, shit is fucking crazy. And I am all about it right now. So it's a lot of fun.
Nice. Awesome.
But yeah, that's all that I'm reading. Are you reading anything else?
No, I'm not reading anything else. I think I really want to start Freyrin. I really, really want to. I know. I kind of want to get into Chainsaw Man because I haven't. I don't know when we're getting season 2 of Chainsaw Man.
Another quick Google search.
Nothing as far as season 2 is concerned. I know they're coming out with a movie, but no confirmation on season 2.
Oh, interesting.
Yes.
A movie.
Yes. So maybe I'll start reading that. I know I did finish My Hero. Did we talk about that one already?
Yeah, we talked about that.
Okay.
So all the big ones are finally all the big ones. Like My Hero and Jujutsu are officially done. So those are kind of like this generation's big.
Yep.
And they're done.
Yeah, it's kind of upsetting. I don't know what to do with my my weekly reads to kind of break up what we're covering because yeah, I'm kind of.
Now you're going to have to start branching out into some unknown territory. And
I know. I guess let's talk about what we're looking forward to. Because I got to say, I guess let's talk about what is out / what are we looking forward to as far as the fall season. Because by the time this releases, it will be the fall season. So what shows are you really looking forward to? There are a bunch coming out this season.
Mm-hmm. Number one, no surprise to anybody, ReZero Season 3.
Yep.
That is a must-see for a lot of us.
I think you'll probably like Uzumaki. It's a psychological thriller type of series.
Mm-hmm.
Super dark, super fucked up potential.
I'm seeing right here there's only 4 episodes for it. That's going to be interesting.
I think it's a short series, to be completely honest. So that might not completely surprise me, but that would be one. Dandadan is another one that I think you'll like.
Yep. That one I'm definitely going to be covering for a Short Flight series. So if anybody else wants to watch that with me, I'll be covering that one.
Ari Ferretta Season 3. I am caught up with the light novels on that one. That one's going to be a lot of fun. Bleach. I am so excited for Core 3 of Bleach. Cannot wait. Oh, yeah. I am beyond excited for Bleach.
Yeah, I don't know who's not going to watch that one.
Shangri-La Season 2. I'm kind of surprised Season 2 is already coming because around the same time last year, Season 1 was out, which that brings back memories of us at Colossal Con and Lance being hungover and us watching Shangri-La.
Yep.
Before our day actually started.
Yep. It got you guys into that one while we were just hanging around, letting me relax. Pretty sure I'm going to be covering that one as well on Short Flights.
Can't wait for that one. Dragon Ball Daima. That's going to be interesting.
Definitely be interesting. I will give it a shot just because it's Dragon Ball. I'm pretty sure a lot of people are going to want to be interested in that one too. At least the storyline. I know it's going to have nothing to do with the core canon. So
it was written by Toriyama.
Mm-hmm.
It's the last thing he ever did. And it takes place before Resurrection F and after the conclusion of Z. So it's that in between.
Okay.
Just to kind of give a frame of reference as far as that's concerned.
That's be good to know. Because otherwise I was going to assume it's just going to be another GT spinoff.
Nope, not quite. I'm trying to think of anything else that I'm really looking forward to. Me personally, I'm looking forward to MF Ghost Season 2, car anime. I spent most of my summer watching / rewatching Initial D. That was a fun time up until Crunchyroll decided it no longer wanted to have Initial D on the website, which I'm upset about, but that's kind of, it is what it is.
Were you able to finish it before they took it off?
Nope.
Oh, no.
Yep. It is what it is. So I'm going to have to find another way to be able to watch that one.
Well, here's another zombie one, Murder Mystery of the Dead.
There you go.
So it looks like I might have to give that one a shot.
Some future potentials of next year, maybe.
Oh, yeah. I'll let you know if it's worth it.
Oh, yeah. They're coming out with, did we talk about this? The Attack on Titan movie?
Oh, yeah. We were talking about that in the last episode with your work buddy, John.
Yeah. I guess we'll see about that one.
So, yeah, there's a couple of big names out there that are going to be a definite watch. And then some other ones that we'll have to read descriptions in and see what other people are really looking forward to. But yeah, there's a lot coming out this next season.
Is Oshinoko continuing, or did they have an actual season finale?
As of this recording, the season finale is scheduled like 4 days after its a traditional release date. So it usually comes out on Wednesdays. This time it's going to come out on October 6th.
Yep, I see 13 episodes for Oshinoko. Mm-hmm. Okay.
So as of right now, the final episode has not been launched.
Okay.
But when you're listening to this, it will be. And I do not imagine this being the end of the series, so I can expect a third season coming out of this.
Very nice. Okay. I know that was a very anticipated show, so that was...
Yeah. Oshinoko Season 2 started out kind of whatever, but midway through up until the end, things started to get very, very interesting. More actually in depth with the story instead of this little side thing that they were doing. I mean, it was necessary for the side thing that they're doing in order for Aqua to get the information that he originally needed.
Okay.
But that's as much as I'm going to say about that now. It definitely got much better.
Oh, awesome.
I'm seeing here that Solo Leveling is going to be a movie. I thought Season 2 was confirmed, saying it's going to be the first 2 episodes of the second season. That's what this movie is going to be. Coming out November 29th.
Release date of Season 2 will be out in January of 25.
Okay. So we'll get a preview before it officially takes off.
That's what it looks like. Which I can't wait for that one, because for anybody who hasn't listened to our Solo Leveling episode, you should definitely do that. I talked about how I watched read the entire series.
Yeah, you couldn't put that one down.
I read it in like I don't know, 3 weeks, a month. I binged it like I hadn't in a long time. It was really good. I enjoyed it. So for anybody that is looking forward to that, definitely recommend that one as well.
But that's going to conclude today's episode. Thank you everybody for listening to us this far. Please make sure to give us a like, a follow, and a review on any platform that you're listening to us on. Also, please give the Anime Show on Facebook and Instagram a follow as well. They post news about anime every single day. And give us an additional follow on YouTube with our Anime Lounge Short Flight series. And until then, we'll see you guys.